I'm really privileged, honored to be amongst all of you. And I have been invited to address those who are going to be future leaders. And today we are going to cover a very interesting topic, very important topic, very relevant topic about distraction management. So today we'll discuss on this. Hare Krishna. So I'll offer some prayers and then we'll begin. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadami Yadati Sudhapitam Vancha Kalptruvashtra Kripasandevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Govinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Yes. Okay. So today we are going to discuss very important topic, which is how to manage our distractions. In order to become successful in life, it is very important that we should stay focused. Just like the lens, when it focuses the sunlight, and then that focus light, when it reaches the object, it burns the object. At least it makes that object hot. If there is a paper, then it burns actually. It catches fire. Why? Because now the sunlight has been focused at a single point. Also water, when it is falling from the streams, and when in a very focused way, it falls on the turbines, on the dynamo, so are being rotated, and this way, through electromagnetic motors, we generate electricity. But we are to make the water fall in a very focused way. So focus is required. In order to be successful, the focus is required. So those who are distracted, especially in the modern times, it's the age of distraction. Kali Yuga, it's the age of distraction. People nowadays so easily get distracted. In fact, among all the species, the most distracted species, the attention span, which is where it is the shortest of attention span, it's of goldfish. And the attention span of the goldfish is 9 seconds. Okay. In the year 2000, when the cable TV and different kind of media, it had just started becoming more glossy and more flashy. The attention span of the human beings was 12 seconds. Goldfish, 9 seconds. But you'll be very happy to know that in the modern times, human beings in general, on an average, we have defeated even goldfish. The attention span in the modern times is 8 seconds. Goldfish is 9 seconds. We are now on 8 seconds. So that phase, we see that human beings who are supposed to have the best of focus, now they are the most distracted beings of having attention span of just 8 seconds. In case you want to deliver something, deliver that in 8 seconds, and then we tend to get distracted. It happens. So there have been various surveys being conducted about the focus which people have. One of the survey mentioned that 70% people at their workplace, they remain distracted, and most of them, 80% of them, they get distracted by mobile phone. Either there is when there is a pop-up message, so there is a message tone, and that distracts immediately. 80% of those, they are distracted because of the mobile phone. There was one joke I received from somebody that receiving a message on a mobile phone is like checking the Huggies diaper of a baby. As soon as the infant child makes some voice or whatever, so then immediately the mother, she opens the nappy and just see whether the child has done something or not, whether it's excreted something or not. So immediately the mother checks the nappy. So as soon as there is some sound. Similarly, as soon as there is some sound in the mobile phone, immediately people check, okay, some message, okay, some WhatsApp message, okay, some notification. So mostly people are nowadays getting distracted this way. And from the age 18 to 34, it mentions that they check their mobile phones 78 minutes every day. They spend on their mobile phones on an average 78 minutes. That means almost like 1 hour and a quarter of hour they're spending just on one mobile phone from 18 to 34. So much distracted. And 48% of people, they keep their mobile phone always switched on. They never ever switch it off. They never even go on silent mode. Almost never. And so 48% are such people. And in UK, it is mentioned that people check their phone in case they're uh, uh, when they're working. Every 12 minutes, they check their phone. My God. And 70% of them, they also never ever switch off their mobile phones. In UK, it was, excuse me, in USA, 8 billion people, 8 billion people are addicted, excuse me, $8 billion sometimes they get wasted just because somebody got distracted on something. My God, that's the level of distraction. In fact, 64% of the accidents which happen in USA is because a person while driving got distracted towards some kind of electronic gadget and met with an accident. 64%. And because of that, they are not able to have proper sleep. Like I've heard from many students, many people, they come to me and they say, I'm addicted to, or say I'm victim of overthinking. Why there is overthinking? The overthinking is happening because there is over data download. Earlier there was a data download which was relevant to me. But nowadays, so much of data is being downloaded through social media in so many diverse ways. And because the data is now coming to my head, and that phase I'm having very high tendency to get distracted because now there is overthinking. Mind is never peaceful. The machinery is always running. And because it is always running, that's why we are often getting distracted because it is always running, running, running. And in case if I want to dovetail this in the right direction, I'm not able to do that because the machinery is running so fast, so much to such an extent that the people are struggling to even sleep. In Japan, they are now giving bonus to such people who every day sleep for 6 hours. In case somebody is wearing a smartwatch, so they see, sir, I slept for 6 hours. Every day they have to show. In case somebody is sleeping for 6 hours, they get bonus. Wow, that's really amazing. That means people are so much distracted in the way in everyday life that it is very hard for them to sleep. And because they are sleeping less, that is leading to further more distraction. Because if somebody has not taken sufficient rest, so the person gets distracted. So this is, excuse me. So that phase, we see that there's so much of distraction in the modern times, in the modern day youth. In one of the survey, it mentioned an average person spends 1 year and 10 months in one's lifespan, in one's active lifespan on YouTube. Okay, and Twitter 1 year and 2 months. Instagram only 8 months, of course. But just see that how many years all these activities they are taking. Oh my God. And all the emails which are being checked by people, only 38% of the emails, they are useful. Otherwise, anytime there is a pop-up, people check their emails. It's of no use, but people do that. And it also mentions that the worker's attention span, it is reducing every decade by 11 minutes. So that means people's attention span, now we have already reached 8 seconds. My God. So that means to keep people focused is such a great task. Nowadays, like there is e-learning. And during the time of e-learning, it is so easy to get distracted because somebody can just video off. And once somebody does the video off, then one is actually into the distraction zone. Sometimes people are having popcorns and sometimes they just minimize it and they watch a movie. And once the session is over, and then they say, well, yeah, it was a wonderful session. It was really, wow. It was a very great session. So, and some of them, they lie down while having a session. They just take their mobile phone and then they lie down. And they lie down after some time. They're in a different world altogether. So that phase, these gadgets have programmed us to get more and more distracted. It is happening. Children, usually their parents, they allow their children to, so that they can have more time. They give the children electronic gadgets so that they can have good time with the gadgets and then we are free. They do that. Now what happens when somebody is using the gadget? Now gadgets are very prompt in responses. So for example, like during our engineering days, we used to play NFS, Need for Speed. So we used to play Need for Speed. So left button, immediately the car turns left. Right button, immediately the car turns right. So quick response, quick response, quick response. And this way the brain becomes conditioned for quick responses. But in everyday life, we see that responses are not so quick. They're not so prompt. So when responses are not so quick, not so prompt, the person becomes more irritated. And that way in modern times, we see that children, they are very prone to get irritated. Very much prone to get irritated. Is everyone okay with English? In case if I have to change the language to Hindi, I'm comfortable both in English as well as in Hindi. Okay with English. All right. I'm also fine with English. I just thought that in case there are people who are not so comfortable. So yeah, okay, all right. We are continuing in English. Okay, all right. So so in modern times we see that all these gadgets. So gadgets, when children are exposed to these gadgets, they make the person more restless, because I'm conditioning my mind for quick responses, which generally does not happen in everyday life. So people tend to get irritated. Second thing is that when I keep associating with gadgets, gadgets are insensitive. When I keep associating with something insensitive again and again and again and again, and that with great absorption, then the result is that I also become insensitive. So this value system is also acquired by children. That means they are becoming insensitive. They are becoming ungrateful. They are becoming so much self-absorbed. Why? Why? Because we are associating with gadgets so very much. And one survey done by Outlook in the year 2016, it mentioned that all those who are successful in the corporate ladder, in the workplace, 90% people are those who are having good EQ. In the beginning, there was a time when people used to focus so much on IQ. But people with great IQ but less EQ, that means emotional quotient, they are not able to invest, they are not able to direct their IQ with the right potential, in the right direction, in the right amount, on the right person, at the right time, at the right place. So for that, I need to have EQ. But when the EQ is weak, emotional quotient is weak, then even high IQ is actually a distraction for the organization. So later on, they found out that people should have great EQ, should have great emotional quotient, then they can be successful actually. So then they started hiring people with good emotional quotient. That means they have feelings, emotions, they can empathize, and that's so much required. But later on, they found out that people who are having great EQ, that means they have a lot of emotions in them, and that is, of course, they are able to empathize. But when people are having too much of emotions, sometimes they are not even able to handle their emotions. So emotions which are supposed to be one's strength becomes weakness. Oh. And then came another factor in calculation. Apart from IQ, to handle IQ was required EQ. Now to handle EQ was required SQ, which was spiritual quotient. So spiritual quotient, it regulates the EQ, and the regulated EQ, it takes care of the IQ. In this way, when this sequence of the three are there, such people are successful in whatever they may do. Like it's called Youth Forum, we see that primarily our focus is that not just people learn skills and knowledge, because usually they are getting that in schools and colleges. Apart from that, we have to give people SQ so that they can manage their lives in a better way. So that means SQ and EQ, and apart from that, on the top of it, as a controlling agent, as a managing agent, there should be SQ, which is spiritual quotient. But yes, so generally, since people have the idea that, well, spirituality is meant for old age, not for young age, and that ways, many of them, they are not able to take advantage of SQ in their young age. I said, I remember we were having our Kirtan Mela in our temple. So there was one guy, I asked him, well, come, you be here, we have got Kirtan Mela, you be here. Said, no, I have to go with my friends. It's a New Year party, so we are going. In Janakpuri in Delhi, there is a place known as RD's Dance Studio, so I'm going there. So I said, all right, you are going to RD's Dance Studio. We are also having RD's Dance Studio. Rukmini Dwarkadish Dance Studio, RD's Dance Studio. And when you will go there, you will have food, but you have to pay for the food. And here you will have food that is free of cost. And there you will have dancing on the songs like "Who Let the Dogs Out?" Bhau 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 bhau. That's a song you are going to dance on. And here you are going to have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So which one is better? Hare Krishna or "Who Let the Dogs Out?" Bhau 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 bhau. Which of the two is better? He said, yeah, of course, this is better. So I told them, okay, you be here for half an hour, and then in case you feel like leaving, and then you. But they stayed there they stayed here in our temple for around 1.5 hours. And then, because they had some friendships and commitments and all that, they left. But yes, instead of staying for half an hour, they stayed for a longer period of time because they got the higher taste. So that phase, we see that the desire to enjoy is so very much there, and that also distracts people. And that's why we see that on social media people are seeking more and more enjoyment. More and more social media platforms are emerging. More and more there is facility for people to get distracted, and that's happening. One survey mentioned that 25% people 25% people, they even forget their birthdays because they are so much lost in this bombardment done by the social media. 25% people. Usually people, they will forget anything, but they do not forget their birthdays. But one of those survey mentions that even people forget their birthdays being so much absorbed into the distracting elements. You will see that even distraction is also kind of absorption, but in a wrong direction, right? Like for example, if we ask somebody to be online, it would be very difficult to stay online for a longer period of time. But in case if we ask somebody to watch a 3 hours movie, a person will be comfortable. 3 hours. People spend hours and hours. I was once somebody sent one driver to pick me up for some session, and I delivered the session, question, answer, lunch, etc. It took 5 hours. So, and then this driver was about to drop me back to temple. So I asked the driver, you were waiting for 5 hours. How did you pass your time? He said, well, sir, I got now internet, which is having a lot of data and very economical way. That way, there is so much of competition between various companies that who supplies data in most economical prices. So I'm having data, a lot of data. I got 200 GB data. So that way, I can just watch it any number of things and any number of time. 5 hours of samadhi. Wow, 5 hours. So that means we see that distraction is also kind of absorption. Distraction is also kind of focus, but in a wrong direction. This happens. One of the reasons that why the education system is being simplified more and more in past few years is that the grades have significantly dropped. And because the grades have significantly dropped, and hence the rate of depression has gone high, the government was pressurized so that they they can simplify the syllabus, they can simplify the studying pattern. Why? Because nowadays children are more and more distracted. I've seen very less number of children now playing outside in playgrounds. During our days when we were toddlers, not really toddlers, but yes, when we were in our full youth, at that time we used to play so much. Parks were filled with football, volleyball, cricket. This used to happen. But now I do not see children playing outside. They are playing cricket, but on a smartphone. They are playing, but they are playing PUBG. So that means they are playing, but they are playing on a wrong platform. So that means they tend to get distracted so very much. And that's happening. And in fact, one of the survey mentions that 78% people, when they were asked that when they are doing nothing, what will they do first? What would be the first thing they would do in case they are not doing anything? 78% of youth said, I will pick up my smartphone. 78%, more than distinction. Wow. And the age group which was mentioned, that was from 18 to 24. That means this section, this particular age group is most distracted. 18 years to 24 years of age. Most distracted. More than 65 years of age people, when they were asked that in case you are not doing anything, what will you do? Only 10% people responded that we will pick up our smartphone. Only 10%. That means the youth, the modern youth, they are the real victims. They are being hunted by this technology so very much. One of the way people are getting distracted is by watching pornography. Pornography, we see that in nowadays, now you'll be astonished that India is rank one in the world. Maximum percentage of data which is being used for watching pornography is in India. 89% of data is being used just on pornography. The rest of the 11% is on WhatsApp, on a YouTube video, or something else, whatever. But 89% of data. Even USA is 85%. We are 89%. We were copying the West, and then Indians have become even worse than the West. Brazil is 82%. 85% is USA, and we are 89%. And Google is laughing on Indians. Google is saying that here is India, where when their Miss India comes and she says, well, I'm from the land of culture, I'm from the land of heritage, I'm the land of purity. Oh, excuse me, Miss India. You are coming from the land of culture, you are coming from the land of purity, but people from India are number one in the world for watching pornography, and they spend 89% of their data, 89% of their data watching pornography. And because of this, now many of the homes are being destroyed. Why? Because now the husband, now he seeks enjoyment through pornography. The wife is seeking enjoyment through pornography. And that means they do not have acid bonding with each other. There's not even what animals do with each other. Even human beings are not able to do. Reason being, they are becoming wasted with these gadgets, trying to fulfill their carnal desires virtually. That's really crazy. Earlier, people used to have to visit prostitutes by going to a red light area, and then they would visit prostitutes. But now, through the gadgets, the prostitutes have entered each and every home. That's so sad. That's so sad. In fact, when Narendra Modi ji's Sarkar, their government came in 2014, in 2015, they banned 88 top pornography sites never to get open in India. But there was so much a hue and cry being done by Indians. No, we want to watch it. We want to see that. Come on. That's freedom of expression. Please. So government was forced to allow those websites to get open in India. But 88 websites they blocked. Now, of course, now the government is doing the same thing, but gradually. Some of the top 30 websites, the pornography websites, are now being blocked by the government. So the rest of them, they are there so that people can open and gradually lose their grip on pornography. But yes, that leads to so much of distraction. So much of distraction. They make so much money just by watching something, the same thing. One student from Jalandhar, he shared this. He said, Prabhuji, from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m., 7 hours I would watch pornography and engage in masturbation. But later on, but I did not realize, when I came in touch with devotees, and I realized I'm watching same thing again and again and again. Same thing. The face is different, the name is different, but it's the same dog and she-dog thing which is happening on the street. But that distracted me so much that it took me 6 years to complete my BTech. 6 years. More and more backs are there, and that phase in which he would have done his MTech as well, but he could do just his BTech in 6 years. So sad. Why is this happening? Because people are distracted. The students are distracted. So we have to take care of this distraction. If we do not do that, it can lead to devastation actually. And all those students, all those children who are addicted, they mentioned that 84% of their parents, they are addicted to smartphones and social media. Because their parents are addicted to smartphones and social media, that's why they also got the same addiction. And parents, they do not have the right to say, come on, give up the social media. Why? Because they themselves are onto it. Like there was long time, there was one song, Chingari koi bhadke to savan se bujhaye. Savan jo aag lagaye, usse kaun bujhaye? In case there is a fire, so rain can extinguish the fire. But in case the rain is causing fire, in case there is acid rain, then who can extinguish the fire? So parents are supposed to correct the children. But in case the parents have become addicted to social media, then who is going to correct the children? Who can correct them? Nobody can correct them. So we see that in the modern times, people are getting distracted so very much. Another distraction which is coming to India is about drugs. Our neighboring countries, one on the left side, another on the right side, one the big one in size, another small in size, they are having a proper conspiracy against India of drugs. They supply drugs to India. And they thought that Punjab is a very good tunnel to supply drugs to India. And another reason is that because most of the people they join army from Punjab and Haryana. In case we make students addicted to drugs, especially in Punjab and Haryana, they would not join army because after having drugs, the person becomes like a zombie, and a zombie cannot join army. So that means they cannot join army, and this is a very good place to supply drugs to India, and also we'll get money, lot of money. So these countries who are having proper conspiracy against India are getting money, getting the youth addicted to drugs, and that ways they are making them physically invalid, mentally also invalid. This happens because somebody when he's addicted to drugs, the mental capacity to think, the faculty of thinking, the faculty to memorize, the faculty to plan something, it all goes down because of drugs. Now this is coming big time. On this there is one movie as well, Urta Punjab. One movie was being made. But now very soon we will have movie Urta India. Entire India is now into the grips of drugs. They started like this. And how where drugs are being supplied? In some of the dhabas outside the college, they supply. How? By putting little drugs in paratha. By putting some little drugs in perfumes. So that, but that has got some drug smell as well. And this way drugs goes in. Even Golgappa centers can be addiction centers. Can you imagine? Worst is even de-addiction centers, they supply drugs because not all of them, but many of them, they are supplying drugs because they know here would come the customers. So de-addiction centers are becoming the addiction centers because they're supplying drugs. Wow, what's happening? So with this addiction towards drugs, people are getting wasted. My God. They're not able to study well. And then so much of energy is required to detoxify them. Let them come out of this addiction. So that phase, drugs, electronic gadgets, and of course, girlfriend, boyfriend distraction has always been there. So we are living in the age of distraction. Oh my goodness. So how to deal with this distraction? That's the million-dollar question. How to deal with this distraction? Very first thing which we should do is that we should start removing the object of distraction. Like for example, smartphone. I'm giving a very revolutionary idea. In case you can apply, you'll be benefited. For 1 month, you will have inconvenience. But in case you apply it, you will be benefited. If you remove the smartphone from your life and get a simple Samsung 3310, that is just 3310, very good phone, simple phone. Get it. Samsung Guru, fabulous phone. Wow. In case you are a student and you are studying, and in case you want to do something very tangible, please get rid of smartphone. In case you are addicted to smartphone, in case you are. For WhatsApp, of course, you can take help of somebody else. You can use your laptop, or for Ola and Uber, you can ask somebody, can you book a cab for me? I'll pay, but you just use an app. Very much. So that means making distance from the object of distraction, that's very important. Because as soon as we see the object of distraction, the sanskars, they are ignited. They become active. They come from ROM to RAM. Yes, yeah, RAM. Gone. So that way, it's very important to maintain distance. Maintaining distance from the object of distraction. One of my devotee friend over here, he mentioned that since the time he has given up the smartphone, what he does that he has got a smartphone and also got one simple phone. But he keeps with himself the simple phone, and he has got smartphone kept in cupboard. Whenever he has to book the Ola, Uber and all that, he books that and then he keeps it. So that now, but he's having in his pocket the chota wala simple wala phone. Wow. So in this way, he is now maintaining distance with you. So when we maintain this distance, then we are able to focus. That's very important. Second thing which we should do is that we should give ourselves short-term feedbacks. That come on, come back. Say somebody is on social media. If somebody is not able to give up absolute attachment to social media, then what one can do is that regulate that attachment. How? Like some of the people, they check their WhatsApp only at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. From 11 to 11:15 and from 6 to 6:15, they check their WhatsApp and that's it. And then they put it inside the cupboard. They do that. So regulating it by sending some kind of short-term feedbacks, or say a feedback for someone's review. There is one option. There's one option is that you can fix that the YouTube will stop. That's that you have watched it for 15 minutes. Would you want to continue? Of course, there is a button to dismiss, but that's like a pop-up to remind me. Excuse me, sir. You already spent 15 minutes. Already done with your today's quota. Like that. And also, we can access internet. We can access whatever you want to do in public. When we are doing it in public, then out of shame, out of public image, what we do is that we maintain distance and we regulate our usage of smartphones. Of course, people have become so much shameless. Like in Delhi, when the metro was running, again it is about to run. But yes, when it was in full-fledged flow, it was going on. At that time in metro, I would see that 95% of people, they are absorbed in their smartphones. Only 5% of people, they are maybe reading a book. But before the face, there's no book, because now there's Facebook in life. How can there be a book before the face so that somebody can read? There's no knowledge acquisition happening. Why? Because people are so much distracted. But yes, when we give ourselves a short-term break, okay, now 15 minutes and then that's it. Short-term break. So that continuous absorption is not good. That's pathetic for us. That's pathetic. Another thing which we should do is that getting ourselves positive engagement. One of my devotee friend, I requested him that you should learn harmonium. Harmonium, he's learning. And since the time he has started learning harmonium, now he has to practice on harmonium. As he's practicing on harmonium, his time being spent on social media has gone down significantly because he has got a positive engagement. We have to give the mind positive engagement. In case the mind will not have positive engagement, it will go for negative engagement, because engagement has to be there. So we have to give positive engagement to the mind. It can be learning a skill, like say, for example, say learning harmonium. It can be learning shorthand. Like for example, you are listening something, there and then you can make notes. Why? Because shorthand is such a good way to make notes, fast notes. That's there. One can also learn some kind of some skills. Say for example, Excel, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, MS Word. There's so many nice tutorials on YouTube. That's also very good. One can learn how to pray Kartal, how to sing Kirtan. Wow, that's wonderful. So that means we should have proper engagement for the mind. That's very important. Another thing which brings the focus is the goal. I have to do something for the betterment. I have to do something, achieve something. When there is a proper goal, then people stay focused. Like you will see that when people are preparing for engineering entrance exams, they study for 12 hours, 14 hours. Once they get into the institute, they struggle to even study for 2 hours. Because when they were preparing for engineering entrance exam, they knew that next year I'm going to give exams. Before that, there are mock tests and this and that. So I'm having focus. Okay, next year, month of March, IIT, I'm to crack. Month of March, next year. So there is goal. There is focus. As soon as now they're into the college, now what goal? Well, now, yeah, chill out, man. And then they lose in focus. So having a goal is very important. Whether your career goals, it has to be there. That also helps us stay away from distraction. Like spiritual goal is ultimately to revive our love for Krishna, the Supreme Lord. When we have that goal, that keeps us away from distractions. That's very important. When you do not have a goal, then people get lost in social media and all that, watching Netflix. I met with one IAS officer. one IAS officer. So this IAS officer has become addicted to Netflix, watching movies, high definition movies. This IAS officer has got a huge plasma TV, and he watches movie on Netflix on a plasma TV. Now he's so much addicted to Netflix, watching movies one after another, and then there's no self control that he had a program calling all the devotees at home, and then said, Prabhuji, what should I do? I'm feeling so much ashamed. I don't know how come I was having so much focus when I was preparing for my IAS exams, and I entered IAS and I did the entire course very well. But now when I'm doing my duty as IAS, I'm so much distracted. I'm addicted to Netflix. Why? Because now there is no goal. There's no goal. Like we see among the devotees, we have a goal. Yeah, we submit our sadhana to our counselors, our shiksha gurus, our teachers, that this many hours of reading, this many hours of chanting Hare Krishna, this much of hearing and all that. When you do that, that keeps us away from distraction. I can't be on social media for such a long period of time because I have to submit my everyday spiritual practices to my mentor. And when we do that, there is a positive engagement, and because of that positive engagement, the person remains focused. And of course, we are to identify our own style as well. What is my psychophysical nature? As per my psychophysical nature, I can engage myself accordingly. When we do not have our psychophysical nature and we try to copy ourselves with somebody else, or say compare ourselves with somebody else, that distracts us. That was Bhim saying. Bhim, he saw that Arjuna, he has learned the skill of singing. And I do not know the skill of singing. So I should also learn. And then he got a harmonium, he sat, and then he started doing riyaz, started practicing. Ah, 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 ah. He was having such kind of riyaz practice. And then entire palace was shaking with his practice. Yudhishthira said, oh, who the hell told Bhima to practice for music? Now, who will go and give feedback to Bhim? That Bhim, you are singing pathetically. Please stop this singing. Who would go and who would dare to do that? So then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Draupadi, can you please go and ask Bhima? Stop this, do something, because otherwise he will keep singing like this. Ah! Entire palace will crumble down because of his practices. So Draupadi said, Bhima, you are such a melodious singer, I must say. But I request you, that such a sublime art should be practiced in seclusion, in jungles. I know this is not a place to practice such a sublime art, music. And Bhim said, wow, Draupadi, what a suggestion. And then he picked up his harmonium and went to the jungle. And then there he started practicing. So one guy came and he was staring at Bhima. So Bhima opened his eyes. He said, excuse me, why are you looking at me like this? He said, actually, I'm a dhobi, I'm a washerman. I lost my donkeys. I thought they are there. And then he dropped his harmonium and he said, okay, I quit. But because that's not the speciality of Bhima. So Bhima has got different speciality. So that is, as per our psychophysical nature as well, a certain kind of skill set we should equip ourselves. Of course, learning music is certainly very good. If you are not good at vocals, you can be good at instrumental. Why not? But yes, giving ourselves a positive engagement, that's very important. Another thing which brings focus is environment. You will see, just like if somebody gives you a book to read and there is noise, somebody is coming and passing by, and say there is one samosa lying here and some soiled clothes are lying there, and if you ask to study in such an environment, you say, well, how can I study in such an environment? It's so difficult to focus here, right? But in case you are given a very clean room, and in that clean room there is a table, there is a lamp, a table lamp, and you are having a book, and there is a pen or pencil stand, and you are having some highlighters, pen and pencils, and you are asked to study in such a place, neat and clean, you'd be absorbed naturally in studying in such a place. Because the environment also brings impact. That happens. Because when Buddhist monk, he came to our Hare Krishna temple, And he said, it's very difficult for me to focus. My other fellow beings are sitting, but I'm not able to focus. What should I do? So the Hare Krishna devotee told him, okay, you just be here. We also in the morning we chant Hare Krishna. At that time you do your meditation. So he came and sat. When he sat, so he was able to meditate. He said, I was able to meditate because such a sublime environment was there that I saw that everyone was so much absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna. Wow. And gradually, as he came there for Buddhist practices, he also started chanting Hare Krishna. So he would do 50% of Buddhist meditation and 50% of chanting Hare Krishna. And gradually, he started just doing Hare Krishna. So that means the outside environment also is very important factor to bring in the focus. That really plays an important role. So we should have holy time and a holy place. Like for example, early morning hours are very favorable for focus. There are many students, they study late night. And you know that late night studies is nothing but it is noodles. Noodles and just noodles. Maybe a couple of chapters, but actually 2 minutes noodles. Yeah, let's take a break. Let's go for noodles. Yeah. And studies done in the night time, it is not of that much focus as in the morning time. I remember it was my, I think, second year. I forgot that one of my book, which I was supposed to study for my exam tomorrow, I forgot. And I realized at 9 p.m. At 9 p.m. I realized, oh, I forgot to study this book. But I was very tired. So I slept at 9, got up at 1. And then from 1 a.m. till 7 a.m., 6 hours, I was so focused that I completed entire book in one night. But the point is that when we sleep early and get up early, that brings greater focus. I knew that if I study at night, I could never complete that book. I could not. It was not possible at all. But yes, by sleeping early and then getting up early, that brings focus. I know some of the engineering students who are regular parts of our ISKCON Youth Forum in Dwarka. They all sleep at 9, get up at 3, 6 hours of sleep. And then 3 to 5, they chant Hare Krishna, 5 to 8, they study 3 hours. And they are so very productive in their studies. So very productive. And they are the top scorers in the college. Of course, during the exam times, they do the chanting even later. Sometimes they just study in the morning. The point is that morning time is so much favorable. So we should have a holy time and a holy space so that we can refrain from distractions. Another thing which we should be very careful about is association. Association also creates distraction. Sometimes so that I score well, there are students who on the name of friendship, they facilitate distraction. This happens. And you just see that video, man. Amazing, awesome video. High resolution, high dimension, HD video, and just awesome. We'll watch it tomorrow. We'll watch it tonight. We'll have popcorn as well together. Come on. Association. एक बार try करो देख. It's awesome, man. तेरा tension सब निकल जाएगा. Association. So we should be very watchful of association because association causes distraction. Shakuni was the association which brought distraction in the minds of Duryodhana. Distraction. Bad association of Manthana caused distraction in the mind of Hekri. Bad association. So in student life, we should be very, very conscious of being very choosy about association. Even those who are working, they should be very choosy about association. So much of time is being wasted in grapevine. So much of time is being wasted in gossips. Why? Because of association. Did you know about that? Latest news. That also causes distraction. So when we are not choosy about association, we become choosa. Choosa, that means chicken. So that way, we should be very conscious about association. Whether in your workplace or whether in your study life. I know one of the top performer in our organization. He was so good, and he was growing up in the ladder very gradually and regularly. One girl came in his life, and then he became so distracted, poor in quality, poor in focus, lost it. Ultimately, he was asked to leave just after 1 year. 6 years of focus period, regular promotions, and then asked to leave just because he got distracted towards one girl. Many of the girls they get distracted towards boys, and boys they get distracted towards the girls. It happens. Srila Prabhupada used to say, the boys are good, the girls are good, but when they are together, then they become bad. So boys are good, girls are good. So let's stay good by maintaining the distance of respect. That's important. That's very important. So in this way, we can, uh, if we have proper engagement, if we stay away from bad association, if we maintain distance from the sense objects, we can certainly have focus. We have to regulate the usage of social media. Very, very important. Social media has been devastating, actually. Culturally speaking, which the television took 20 years and has been done in just 5 years by the smartphones and the social media and all that. So that way, stay away from them, regulate your attachment with it, with the social media, drugs and addictions and all that. And certainly staying focused will help you both in your professional front as well as spiritual front. All right, I'll stop here now. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful class. All of you, if you have any questions, you can please write down in the chat box. Sir, I already got one question in the beginning itself. So someone was asking that in this era of digital age, our communication mode is now mobile to access tools or apps like Outlook, Zoom meetings, Google Meet, messages, WhatsApp content, etc. Then how to handle this kind of situation in this present scenario? Because you mentioned like mobile phones are distraction and
What I said that we are too right. Technology is like they're saying, technology is a very good servant, but technology is a pathetic master. In case technology becomes your master, it will ruin your life. But it remains like a slave. Very good, very good. So that phase, technology has to be used and right. Like for example, Outlook. In case you are using Outlook to send and receive messages, emails, that's perfectly fine. But along with Outlook, there are other facilities as well. There are other avenues. In case we get absorbed in those avenues, then we would not be present in any other venue. So use it. So because technology is a very good servant, very good slave, but not a good master at all. Yeah.
yes, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, I'm getting a few more questions. Here, Shiva, we have Shiva Kumar. He is writing that, sir, social media is a big form of distraction for me. How to control myself, Facebook and WhatsApp? I always keep scrolling.
Okay. One time Aristotle, he went to the market. Aristotle, he's one of the Western philosophers. He went to the market and nobody had seen ever Aristotle in the market. And he was looking at things in the market. So somebody asked, Aristotle, you in the market? We had never seen you in the market. How come today you are in the market? What are you finding today in the market? So he said, today I have come to market just to see what all things I do not need. Similarly, if somebody is just scrolling, say on YouTube you are scrolling, okay? When you are scrolling, just ask yourself, do you desperately need this video? The answer would be no. If you're using your intelligence, the answer would be no. In case next video comes, latest movie trailer, do you desperately need this? The answer is no. Scroll. Okay, next comes maybe say India-Pakistan final match. Highlights. Do you desperately need this video? No. Scroll. Next video comes. Hrithik Roshan dance on some popular song. Do you desperately need this video? Scroll. No, I do not. Okay, one nice joke on Pappu. Do I desperately need this video on Pappuji? No. Scroll. In this way, when you will keep scrolling, you will come to know that it is most of the videos I do not need. Do this exercise for 5-10 minutes and then just come. That's it. And then, of course, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra along with this will help you realize that I do not need this video. Just like Aristotle, when he was in the market, he was saying that what all things I do not need. Similarly, when you are scrolling in WhatsApp or say YouTube, you'll say, okay, I do not need this. 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 Back on WhatsApp, what do? I've got 3 important chats pinned because there is an option of pinning the chat. I regularly check only those chats. Below chats, in case if I get time, then I may check. Otherwise, I do not check. I do not check. And some of the groups have got 15,000 messages. Some of the groups have 25,000 messages. Now, if I start scrolling, then believe me, I would be just on WhatsApp and nothing else.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Yeah. So there was one call. So I'm back. Distractions. Even while delivering a session, they can be a distraction. So that ways we are to regulate it.
Yes, sir. We have next question. I'm combining few questions which are of the same theme.
Sure,
Here,
sure.
yes, sir. Here, many of the participants are asking that, sir, you told about the impact of association in one's life. So I can see in my life that I have impact of both good association and bad association both. So how to avoid bad association? Though they are my friends, that bad association, they are my friends, and if I avoid them, then at the time of need, when I'm there in a situation which is not very good, then they only help me. Then what to do?
You know, in case if I'm thinking that if I help somebody, then that person would help me. Believe me, that person is not really a friend. He's a businessman. And somebody is really a true friend would not go for, opening the account of credit and debit, what you have done to me in the past, and whether should I be serving you this time or not. You not get into that business exchange. A true friend would always help us, like that. Secondly, we may have some social exchanges with friends. Hey, hi, how are you doing? Are you done with your assignment? Great. Okay, who's the period next? Who is coming next time? Okay, oh, I see. Is tomorrow holiday? Oh, I see. Oh, great. All right. Did you have lunch? Okay, I also had my lunch. Yeah, thanks. All right, guys, all the best. Now this is like social exchange. Now, being a student, I can have social exchanges with other students. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But problems comes when we become very deeply engrossed with them, absorbed with them. So that's not good. For example, even somebody as a student can even go and play also sometime in between, just so that one can have a healthy body. That's understood. But somebody then continues to be in their association, and then afterwards there are some talks, typical college talks they are happening. Well, that's not good. So that way, socialize to some extent as a matter of social obligation. That's fine. That's understood. But to remain absorbed in that association to the extent of becoming intoxicated with that association, addicted to that association, that's not good. So some little bit of socialization. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. So next question is that when a boy and girl come together, it's bad. How to understand husband and wife and life partner scenario?
Yes. Once you are getting married, then stay with your wife and no other woman. Because once boy and girl have become husband and wife, now they are not boy and girl. Now they are husband and wife. Once you become husband and wife, okay, all right, then stay together. See all of the ladies as mothers, except your wife. If you call your wife as mother, she will take a sandal and beat you. So that means, in case you are married, then fine. But during college days or when you are working, when you are not married to that person, and then it's just flirtatious behavior. Hey, today you are looking gorgeous. This pink color suits you so much, baby. Awesome. Today, oh, ये बत्तियां बुझा दो जी, आज तो ये चकाचौंध, ये सुंदरता, अरे क्या बात. Now this is all flirtatious behavior. Today you're looking awesome. This pink color suits you so much. Your hair is so silky. Oh my God. When you have got this kajal or eyeliner, oh baby, you look like Kangana Ranaut. Now this is all flirtatious behavior. Refrain from that. In case somebody has now become your wife, all right, happy with your wife. And of course, if somebody is too much absorbed in wife as well, while you are working, I'm thinking of my senorita. So then, of course, again, you are distracted. So when you're at home, okay, love you, darling. You are Krishna's blessing upon me. But once you're at workplace, focus on your work. Like that. So even with one's wife, also one should not be too much attached. Just so that it requires that much, it's okay. Wife can be attached to husband just so that one can serve each other nicely. There can be harmony in relationship. That's fine. But becoming mad for each other, hum bane, tum bane, ek duje ke liye. Come on, come out of this. That's Bollywood stuff. Suits only Bollywood, not real life. There is difference between real life and real life. So with wife, understood. In case there is no wife, see all ladies as mothers, sisters, like that.
Yes, sir. Next question Shubham is asking. I have a habit of watching news on national and international affairs every time. I really want to be updated on this issue, but realized that my 4-5 hours go in these things. Please guide.
4-5 hours, my God, that's really too much. In case you are preparing for IAS exams, then of course that's understood that you must spend a couple of hours on what's happening, who's who, the current affairs. That's understood in case you are preparing for IAS exams. But in case you are not preparing for that, then believe me, all these news should not take more than 20 minutes. Like there are some of the apps, like I got In Shots. It's one of the app. In 60 words, it describes the news. I just see it every day for 15 minutes, sometimes not even that, and I'm updated what's happening. And that's sufficient for me. So spending 5-6 hours on international news, well, it's all same news, what are conspiracies and counter conspiracies, and we are going to contribute not even a single iota into it. Why so much absorption into this? It's just a waste of time. So we should regulate that. In case you are doing for 5 hours, come to gradually 4 hours, and then gradually 3 hours, and 2 hours, and 1 hour, and then gradually come to half an hour. And that's sufficient, not more than that.
Yes, sir. Next question. Someone is asking how to avoid peer pressure.
How to avoid peer pressure? Do not take it seriously. That's it. You should have only one pressure. I should be performing well than what I performed yesterday. That's it. Other performing well, so they are getting promoted. Congratulations. All the best, guys. Going up. Yay. Hooray. Hari bol. That's fine. Peer pressure is illusion. They may say, well, hum to aage badh gaye. We are growing. Where you are? They say, well, I'm there where I am, but I'm very happy. That's it. Peer pressure is just an illusion. If somebody is going up, all the best to them. You will grow and you will take your own time. That's fine. So I should be having competition not with my peers, not with my colleagues. I should be competing with my own self. Have I become a better person than what I was yesterday, whether professionally and especially spiritually? That's it. So there's no peer pressure. There is self pressure. Little pressure, that's fine. But pressure from within myself, against myself, for myself. That's it.
Yes. Next, someone is asking, I'm a college student. My usual routine for the day is 6 hours of online class. And then after that, I'm honestly so tired to concentrate on my work where I end up multitasking. So how I'm supposed to stop multitasking and concentrate for more hours than taking longer breaks?
Okay, in case your classes are there and you cannot skip your classes, you should go for your classes. And then afterwards, whatever time you are left with, you should divide that time. Like for example, after 6 hours of class, first priority should be that you should take some rest. After so much of learning, in case you do not rest, so whatever you have learned would evaporate. So once you come, have a quick revision and take rest, or take rest and then have a quick revision. That's most important. Otherwise, you will forget whatever you have studied. And then prioritize your thing. Whatever is urgent and important, should be given first priority. Okay. Whatever is urgent but not so important can be given third priority. Second should be that which is important but not so urgent can be given second priority. And that which is least urgent and least important, the fourth priority. So in this way, we should prioritize our tasks and then go by them. But that which is important and urgent should be taken care of first. We cannot do all the tasks. We cannot do that. all the tasks. Today I'll accomplish all the tasks. No, that's not possible. Many of the days it is not possible. And that's not practical as well. It happens because of bodily conditioning, because of the uncertainty of life. It happens. So that phase, we should understand that we have got certain limitations. And under certain limitations, I'm to act in a certain limited way. And that which is beyond my limitations, salutation to that. I'm not Superman. I'm not superhuman. I'm not God. I'm a simple being. I've got my limitations. You should understand that and not feel frustrated. So prioritize your tasks like this. Take some rest as well. After your 6 hours of classes, so much of knowledge download, take some rest and revise what you have studied. Just give half an hour to that. Believe me, so much of productivity would come just by revising those 6 hours of class. Just by revising that. Believe me, it will be very, very fruitful for you.
Yes, sir. So here's an announcement to all the participants. Please stay tuned. We'll take 2-3 more questions, and then we are going to have a very interesting quiz for all of you. And the winners of the quiz, top 5 winners, will get exciting prizes from our side. Like wow. So please stay tuned. We'll take 1-2 more questions. Sir, I'm getting a question here. One boy is mentioning. Sir, you mentioned that fixing a goal and try to achieve it. If one does not have the ability to achieve it, how to concentrate to crack the goal?
On achieve what? I'm sorry?
You told that we should fix our goal and try to achieve it. But we should fix our goal.
And fix our goal, and then, yeah, okay.
If I don't have the ability, then how should I do it?
If I do not have the ability?
Yeah, to concentrate to fix my goal.
Okay, then have a realistic goal. You know, have a realistic goal. That's very important. Say, for example, if I do not have capability to crack, say, B.Tech in 1 year. So give yourself a goal. I'll take 2-year coaching. I'll study very well. I'll attempt next year as well. But my full-fledged preparation would come after 2 years. So that's my limitation. I'm not so good, Baba. Just to complete ML Khanna IIT Mathematics, OPL Agarwal for chemistry, SC Verma or Rasni Halliday Physics. To complete all of them in 1 year would not be possible for me. I'll take 2 years. SC Verma and all that, it will take me 2 years. All right, understood? So have realistic goals. In case you know that you cannot crack IIT, you know that. Bhai, apne se IIT crack hone ka nahi hai, hame pata hai. Okay, I'll try to crack some NITs. That's my practical goal. You know? So in case whatever your skills are, your time, your ability is there, of course, we try our level best to grow by investing in ourselves, yet we all have certain limitations. So based on that, we should fix our goals so that we do not feel frustrated. As simple as that.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So now someone is asking that how can porn sites affect our mindset? Do they really affect us?
Porn websites?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course they do that. They do that. And it is observed that Americans, they watch more Asian porn. And Asians, they more watch American porn. Because Americans, they're not getting any nectar in white skin. And they look for more brown skin. And those who are in brown skin, the Indians, they are going for white skin. They watch more porn of the West. So that is this duality is being created. Now, many of the people, when they watch porn, they also do masturbation. Because they do masturbation, that's why they are losing their vital energy. When the semen is lost, that also leads to lack of focus. That's also there. So that is so focus is also going down. So because people are spilling out their vital energy, whether girls also do masturbation, boys they also do masturbation. Both of them they do masturbation. 99.99% boys and girls they do masturbation. And because they do this, that's why as they become of marriageable age, when they get married, they are not having the vitality to produce child. You know why this IVF shop, this IVF thing is going so high nowadays. People are earning great money out with IVF. Because the semen has become so thin that it cannot reproduce the child. And because it cannot reproduce a child, either they are taking a child, say they're adopting the child, or they are going for surrogacy or some different kind of methods and all that. Why this is happening is because of excessive spillage of semen while watching pornography. That's happening. Also, when I watch pornography, I do not see the opposite gender with respect. When I look at a girl, I look at girl, oh, Here comes the object of my enjoyment. Wow. Oh, she's so beautiful. What a gorgeous girl. What a figure. I just see that. I do not see the divinity associated with her. That here is a soul, and that which I should respect her. This thought does not come. So watching pornography makes me addicted to see the woman, or the woman seeing the men as an object of enjoyment. Of course, it's more of women because usually women are being exploited by men using in pornography and all that. So that means woman is more seen as an object, and objectification of women is such an insult to women. Actually, it's such an insult. And of course, they are not able to learn. The learning goes down, whether on professional front or spiritual front. The learning is going down because of pornography. So that means it makes us more carnal, more animalistic in our attitude and aptitude because of being addicted to pornography. So that means the results of watching pornography are devastating. Actually. Devastating.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, next question is that, sir, I have seen your video on how to wake up early and one of those to sleep early. But how to train my mind to follow those instructions strictly?
Okay. Anyone who wants to be successful has to be disciplined. So even there can be alarm to sleep. Like for example, 9:30 p.m. you should have alarm. Alarm में आवाज लगाओ, भैये सो जा, भाई साहब सो जाओ. Oh hero, oh superhero, now it's a time to sleep. So not just there should be alarm that I wake up. There should be alarm that now I should sleep. So 9:30 if you start telling yourself, now it's time to sleep. Now it's time to sleep. So that means now I am programming my mind that by 10 o'clock I will actually sleep. In the beginning, you may find some difficulty because you're addicted to sleep by 4 o'clock or so. So that means now to sleep immediately at 10 p.m. would be difficult. So it would come back. So just lie down. Your eyes may be open, but just keep lying down. Hear some light kirtan, not a very tumultuous kirtan, intense kirtan, very light kirtan is going on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This kind of light kirtan. And then just keep lying down. So maybe after 1 hour, 2 hours, you may lying down without sleep because you are having bad habit of sleeping late. But gradually the biological shift would happen and you'll start sleeping at 10. 9 to 12, the body releases toxins in intestine in case we are sleeping. In case we are awake, so then toxins would remain in our blood. So that means in order to make the toxins exit our blood vessels and enter into the intestines, we have to sleep early. So we have to program our mind. In this way, we can start sleeping early, get up early. And believe me, if you sleep at 9, you get up at 3. And from 3 to 8, say in case you chant Hare Krishna and you study, most productive. You'll be most productive in those hours. So that is, you have to bring that discipline gradually. But we have to make deliberate, conscious efforts to sleep on time.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. One more very interesting question has come. So someone is asking that, sir, you mentioned that we have to be engaged in some way or other.
Yeah.
So can't it be possible? Like, is it not possible to have no engagements and be peaceful?
Now, in case you are not having engagement, this would make you lose peace. The mind would say, "Arey, kuch karne ko nahi hai, yaar. I should have something to do." So some engagement has to be there. Otherwise, mind becomes lethargic, and you have heard that empty mind or idle mind is devil's workshop. So it would do something nefarious. It would do something nasty, something naughty, something undesirable. So that phase, it has to be given some kind of engagement. Not that if I don't have any engagement and I'm very peaceful, I'm sleeping now. But for how many hours? 24 hours? No. At the max, you will sleep for 10 hours, and after some time, even you'll get backache. It happens. So that is young age is time for learning, upgrading ourselves. Not that I don't have any engagement at all. So that is acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of skills and right kind of values. This is the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Here, we'll take one last question.
All right.
Do you think having pets create a difference in life coming out of the virtual world?
Having pets created a
Do you think having pets create a difference in life coming out of the virtual world?
having pets? No. Actually, having pets, of course, one may pamper the dog for some time, maybe say for half an hour, 45 minutes. But then again, the pet would be seen as a distraction to get distracted through mobile phone. So in case you are watching a movie on Netflix and your puppy dog comes, अरे यार ये क्यों पाल लिया मैंने? I was watching a movie on Netflix and this here comes a puppy dog. My God, a distraction to get distracted. So that ways now there are double distractions, and of course we have no right to take away the freedom of a living entity so that I can take care of my mental needs, no, my emotional needs. Let me have my puppy dog. Well, dogs for the dogs, there is world to wander. They have their societies, they have their she dogs, and they have their own world. We take them away from their world and keep them inside our home. That oh, here is my family member. That's abnormal. We are taking away the freedom of these. Sometimes people also have birds. For birds, God made sky to fly. Now they are inside the cage and they are being tortured by a coochie coochie coo. Come on, how can you torture pets like that? So one should not have pets at home. One should have some real positive engagement. Pets is not the way to get rid of social media. That's a negative way of dealing with negativity.
Thank you so much, sir.